Welcome back to beautiful Los Angeles. We are live for Stage 3 of our 2019 Overwatch League season. We're fired up. It's a Friday, baby, and the action heats up right here in Week 2 with 3 of our top 5 teams in the standings in action today. Hello, everybody. I'm Chris Puckett alongside the whole team. We've got Zoe, we've got Bren, we've got Sideshow, and last night the San Francisco Shock lost.
True, that did happen. In fact,
Was that not a dream? I thought it was a dream. I couldn't believe it.
I woke up to like 2,500 likes on my tweet about Houston yesterday. I think the fans were ready for a big win.
The worst part about this now is the amount of Houston fans I've got coming at me on Twitter. Because do you remember
We told you so.
Do you remember that segment we did where we said, which is the better team, the Shock or Titans? And I scolded a fan for saying the Outlaws.
I remember that.
They're all quote tweeting it now. They're all quote tweeting it.
That's true.
Perfect karma right there. Every show here on Watchpoint is better than the last, and today is no exception. We've got our insider, Danny Lim, sitting down with London's damage-dealing superstar and 2018 Grand Finals MVP. It's Profit for an exclusive interview. Plus, the Houston Outlaws shocked all of us by taking out the Shock last night. We hung out with Dante and Raucus right after the match to soak it all up with the excitement. And we've unearthed some letters from the past that may or may not have aged very well. Stick around for that. It's coming up in just a bit. When they start clicking heads on stage, you'll see, of course, a great one with the Paris Eternal taking on the NYXL. Toronto matches up against the London Spitfire. Boston faces off against the red-hot Houston Outlaws, and the Gladiators look to take another win over the Philadelphia Fusion. It's going to be a great one today. The Los Angeles Gladiators split a pair of matches in Week 1, defeating the Dallas Fuel before losing to the Vancouver Titans. Fourth place Gladiators will take on a Philadelphia Fusion team that lost 0-4 to Hangzhou and haven't won since Week 3 of Stage 2. So, Zoe, let's start there. How big of an underdog are the Fusion today?
Well, you know, Puckett, say one thing about the Philadelphia Fusion. Say that they are consistently mediocre.
Oh.
They are beating, yeah, that's right. They are beating the teams they have to beat. And they're losing against the teams where we, well, would expect them to lose. Except from that one game against the Mayhem, which we know
wasn't in that one.
Yeah, all right. Are we still going with that excuse?
Yeah.
Okay, fair. Then let's pretend that Mayhem game never happened. But other than that, they have to start improving. We need to see them being more consistent, going up in their performance against higher teams, higher level teams. And they definitely have to defeat the top teams in order to even stand anywhere in the top of the standings where they can make the playoffs. And they really have to turn it up. We're already in Stage 3, everyone.
Well, let's focus on 2 individual players that I want to take a look at right now on either side of these teams. Decay and Carpe. 2 names, 2 massive stars. And when you think of these players, you think that they're going to be the cars of the team. They're going to be dominating. Well, it's been a bit of a one-sided show when you're looking at this comparison here. Decay, he's fit as he played Zarya before he was in the Overwatch League. He's a phenomenal player, but we haven't seen the same results from Carpe. And this is kind of worrying a little bit because he's always been known as the big shot, you know, the big lad when it comes to playing on the Widowmaker. His clutch potential was through the roof. I mean, the Philadelphia Fusions, they won tons of games as a result of his own potential, this one player. But we're just not seeing it today. We're not in a meta where it's capable, where you can just clutch out these 4v6 encounters. And right now, that's not what you need. You need Carpe to be stepping up consistently on an overall basis for Philly to stand a shot here.
Oh, I don't want to talk about Zaryas. I want to talk about the real man's battle that's happening here on the stage. It's a Lucio v. Lucio.
Oh, this is a good one.
Big Goose Neptune.
Whoa!
It's going to be sick. They're going to be making all the plays, the boops, the wall riding.
Unreal.
I don't even want to look at the stats that
Look
tell
at
me
their
the
facial
biggest
hair
is good as
instead.
Neptuno. I know the facial hair is so good between the 2 of them as well. But both of these guys make big plays all the time. They're 2 of the more aggressive Lucios that we have out here. Both of them see opportunities to go and make those big plays all the time. Keep your eyes on these guys when they play this match, because even though the stats don't really show it, Big Goose is fantastic at being able to find those opportunities.
And if you've got that all-access pass as well, you can look at the POVs.
Yeah, there you
go.
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 Like 1999.
Quality plug
Twitch
right there,
all-access
Brent.
pass.
Quality plug. If the Gladiators do slip up against Philly, London will be right there looking to pass them in the standings. That's right, London. The 5th place Spitfire play a Toronto Defiant team that has been on a slide, losing 6 of their last 7 matches. London blasted Boston last week before looking completely lost when they faced off against the Excelsior. So, Bren, why do you think New York was able to dominate the 2018 Grand Finals champions as hard as they did?
I think I can only speculate in this position right now because what we saw from London against the New York Excelsior was completely different to how they played the other week. And it was night and day. This London Spitfire that we saw against New York, they played slow, indecisive. They weren't coordinating together. A lot of their engages were mismatched, and New York took advantage of that heavily when they were playing around this new Sombra composition that they've been messing around with. I think, and we know for a fact that these teams, they scrim against each other on a regular basis in this upper pack. I mean, there's potential here that London maybe have just got in their own heads when they were playing against New York Excelsior, got scared in the match, something happened beforehand, maybe a scrim. Again, like I said, I can only speculate on this because there's no concrete information, there's no actual real reason that we know of that this should have been the case and that it was so one-sided.
It's just such a typical London thing, right? They outperform and then they don't. Yeah, just doing London things. But as you just said, they should be familiar with New York. However, they definitely didn't look like they're familiar playing against a Sombra. They struggled so very hard to shut down Sebjolvi on his Sombra. And frankly, Sebjolvi didn't even play a good Sombra that game. That looked like it was one of his... No, it was not all right, Josh. It was not all right. It was not a great Sombra.
Savage.
No, I'm sorry. Like, I think when we watched him play Sombra the next game, like, there was a world of difference. But what I want to get here is that London didn't really know how to play around that Sombra. They were very scared. They didn't commit. They didn't go aggressive, but they also didn't play too passive. They really tried so hard to defend the back line and keep Sebjolvi away from Bidosin, who still got picked off. At the same time, they didn't apply pressure on the front line. Gesture got picked off. Fury didn't get to Peel. I have no idea where he was all game long. So overall, that was just, as you said, a lot of miscommunication. They didn't gel well at all.
Josh, if we're looking at Toronto, their opponent today, this is a team that has lost 6 of their last 7, and you got to stop the slide if you want to get into the season-long playoffs. So how do you get that done against a shaky London today?
Well, Toronto is still trying to integrate these 2 new talents into their team. They've got Gods, the man with the greatest hair in esports, and Shurik as well, who's 2 new additions that have changed the identity of this team. Gone from a Korean-speaking roster into a kind of mixed one, with English being the dominant language. And I think that this is a decent opportunity for them to try and perhaps take advantage of a top team and steal a win away from a team like London Spitfire that aren't feeling their best after that loss against New York. Having said that, you'd normally expect Envy to be playing the Sombra if they want to run that kind of stuff. If you try and just go triple tank v triple tank, London is still really good. So I don't know. I still think that London should be massively considered the favorites in this matchup.
Toronto looking for that upset as they continue to evolve. They're not the only team. The Excelsior are doing the exact same thing. When we come back, we'll tell you whether the NYXL's new style is sustainable and whether it could push them back into the top of the standings. That's coming up next on the Watchpoint Pre-Show, presented by State Farm.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile.
Paris Eternal and New York Excelsior both started Stage 3 2-0. Paris looked improved in wins over Toronto and Boston. The New York Excelsior struggled a bit with Houston in their first match before drubbing the London Spitfire with a shutout victory. So Sideshow, how impressed were you with New York in Week 1?
I think it's a good look for New York, honestly, this new Sombra style with Sabiobi. I think that they were playing a style that was never going to see them defeat Shock or Vancouver previously in stages 1 and 2. Now they found a style that works well for them. Sure, Sabiobi isn't lighting the world on fire, but he's getting key hacks and he's pressuring Zenyatta's. So he slows teams down, farms up his EMP, and then the rest of his team pushes really intelligently on the player that he's hacked. If he manages to hack the Diva, they'll throw in either a Bionade or they'll throw in a Grav or something like that. If he manages to hack the Lucio, they can attack with a speed boost. They're very good at using the advantage of just having abilities and just winning a fight based off one hack from Sabiobi.
Yeah, it's not just the New York Excelsior, though, that have been experimenting with Sombra. We've seen a big shift over the course of the league so far in terms of the actual Sombra usage. Our Captain Planet stats man in the back has nicknamed this the Sombra Renaissance in Stage 3. And you can see the usage here is increasing over time. It is beautiful, right? I'm surprised I even managed to say that without tripping up. I'm going to be real with you. But you can see a massive increase of around 8% from Stage 1 to Stage 3. And I think this is now where the teams are starting to realize, right, we can't hack it. Can't hack it with the big boys playing triple tank, triple support. What, you didn't like that?
We're not laughing at your dad joke.
You didn't like that?
Yeah, Josh is not happy.
Like that. They can't hack it playing the GOAT, so they're going to have to swap to the more different compositions to try and take some wins against some of the easier teams.
Get a little more dishonest. Paris on the other side, we got to talk about the opponent here. This is a team that is looking better, and about time, Paris. You had me worried in Stage 2, but they're 2-0 throughout Week 1. What is happening here? Why is this team on the way up?
Well, that's a great question. I do think they're just starting to really come together as a team. And finally, we're seeing people like Danye. Danye, that's right. Really popping off. He is now basically taking over their Zarya role. We've seen Soon on it before. We've seen Shadowburn on it before. Both really not impressing, but the latest rendition of that Paris roster is starting to look really, really good. I don't think they have been truly tested as of yet, but right now, if you just looked at those stats on the Sombra as well as the Zarya for Danye, he's actually putting in a lot of work, and he really popped off in their last game.
You have to think a Paris win today would be a major upset, but stranger things have happened. For example, the Houston Outlaws taking out the San Francisco Shock in a 5-map war last night. Yeah, get fired up. The Outlaws began Stage 3 against 2 top 3 teams, falling to New York in a 5-map series, and now beating the Shock. Needless to say, Raucus and Dante were quite happy when we spoke to them after the match.
This is the Outlaws' day. The Houston Outlaws defeat the San Francisco Shock.
I don't know, I'm pretty sure he's still shaking.
Yeah, I'm a little excited.
They get their first Map 5 win of the season, and they do it against the best team in the league.
We were the worst team last stage, like by far. And we took this month break as like a real time to like focus on what we did wrong. We were never gonna give up because like if you're in the Overwatch league, you just can't give up. If you're a competitor, you can't give up.
It was definitely Dante's EMP Inferno today, and he gets some revenge on a team that dealt him over to the Outlaws.
It's like super satisfying to beat my old team. Like I love them all. I'm like such good friends with them. It's just crazy that we actually beat them, the best team in the league.
The Houston Outlaws have finally found what it takes to take down top teams.
And a lot of people don't think that we could have done it. A lot of people don't think that we'll ever be good again. They want people to scrap the team and stuff like that, but like you don't understand our team's mentality. We literally just won't give up. This is just such a great feeling, seriously.
Dante has long been known for his Sombra, and Stage 3 is shaping up to be a great meta for him. He's top 6 in several major categories so far on the Mexican Hacker, and as Sombra gets more usage, this could be a big boost for the Outlaws. Today, Houston will battle a Boston Uprising squad that stumbled out of the gates in Week 1 with 2 losses. Houston has just 4 wins on the season, but only 3 matches separate them from our 12th and final season-long playoff spot, which is now held by Boston. One team that's always in the playoff hunt is the London Spitfire, thanks in part to their world-class damage dealer, Profit. Danny Lim sat down with our 2018 Grand Finals MVP to talk about childhood championships and cold hard cash. That's next on the Watchpoint Pre-Show.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Running into bullets, thrown in there by
Jake still applying the pressure from on high as well. And this is going to the Houston Outlaws, really trying to crank it up as Laser once again gets to show us what he's capable of with a mechanical hero. Finland's gift to Esports strikes again!
Now he has the shatter. No one would expect that.
No one would expect a shatter right now.
Nobody expects the shatter from behind. There it is again. Popo down already. Maybe they soon to follow, and you'll take that every time, man.
Hard being brought up at the moment, trying a little bit of space. Open sleep dart!
That's all you need.
Oh boy! Now just gonna be looking for it. Armor pack coming through with the pin there for Marvel. They take him down. Jayhawk. There's another one. Now Rio taking a nap.
Who needs trance for Sombra when you've got sleep?
Time now is going to tick down faster and faster, but Ochi maybe extends the limit too fast. Shatter from Raw. It is big. It is just what the doctor ordered. And the Dallas Fuel need to have it on speed dial right now because they are hurt.
This one is on a razor's edge here, but the sustain up front from Paris still looking good. Gray with the switch.
Oh, Gray with the clutch. Heads on an Ivy too. God goes down.
It's time to dig out some old letters to find out how things have changed for the better or for worse. These are Watchpoint's letter from the past. Sideshow, start us off.
Okay, so I found this one in a bus, a deserted bus somewhere in Florida. It's dated June the 20th, 2018, just a couple of days after last season ended. It's from the past version of Florida Mayhem to their future self. It says, "Dear future Florida Mayhem, we gotta be honest, it wasn't the greatest first season. Only 7 wins, but hey, at least we'll never have less wins than the Shanghai Dragons, am I right? They might never win 7 games, lol. Oh, pumped for season 2. Swoosh already has some sweet walkouts planned for us.
Oh.
Sire Player's Widowmaker is so sick. I think next season he will just play Widow on every single map.
Oh,
they
no.
didn't know. They lacked it, the critical information. Looking forward to evolving, but one thing's for sure, we will not be fielding an all-Korean roster. Stay cool and have a nice summer. Signed, the 2018 Florida Mayhem."
Wow.
Ooh.
That's brutal.
All right, I got one too. Let's see. I found it in the same bus, by the way.
Oh, really? Really?
I didn't come up with an origin story quick enough, so you surprised me there. Yeah, it's dated Sunday, July 22nd. So that was the day after New York was knocked out of the playoffs by the Fusion. Dear future Wizard Young, you're still a genius. The only reason the NYXL lost to Philly was because the players didn't listen to your analytics. You will show them. Time to find a new team, maybe down in Washington, D.C. The Washington Wizards. Yeah, I like the sound of that. Super original, like all my ideas, actually. Oh, what? It's already an NBA team? Dang. Well, how about the Washington Justice? Justice for Wizard. I'll show everyone that it was me and not the most talented roster and well-run organization that was responsible for New York's dominance this year. 2019 Grand Finals, here we come. Love, Wizard Young.
Wow, that's powerful stuff, right?
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
So I did some scrounging up, and I managed to find a letter dated back a while ago. Actually, it was June the 14th, 2009.
Oh no!
This is quite some time.
Oh no! What is...
And this is directed to future Josh Wilkinson. It says, "Dear future Josh Wilkinson, things are looking pretty sweet here in our little coastal British Shire. Looking forward to having this luxurious head of curly locks our entire life.
No, come on!
Also really looking forward to getting kicked out of medical school so I can be an esports analyst. In a few years, we should probably think of a really cool gamer handle for ourselves. Something that really, positions us as the primary attraction."
Why are you gonna do me like that?
Pretty well done there, Brad. Did you write that yourself?
Oh, absolutely.
No, we hired a writer for that one.
No.
Glad. All right, when the London Spitfire won the 2018 Grand Finals, there was no question who the MVP was. Profit. Now in Season 2, the 19-year-old damage dealer continues to enjoy both team and individual successes. And as he tells our insider Danny Lim, he doesn't mind getting paid for it.
질문 있나요? 프로페 교수님 질문 있습니다. 프로페 선수 반갑습니다.
반갑습니다.
오늘 너무 좋은 강의를 들어서 제가 또 영감이 딱 솟아오르네요. 자, 그러면은 윤영기 때는 좀 어떤 아이였나요?
엄마 말로는 장난도 많고 말을 진짜 안 들었대요.
좀 되게 반항아였구나.
네, 장난기도 많고.
제일 처음 시작한 게임이 뭐예요?
스타크래프트요.
오버워치는 언제 시작하셨어요?
처음에는 그냥 오버워치 그냥 재미로 했었거든요. 근데 하다 보니까 점수가 높아져서 팀을 구했죠. 그래서 들어간 게
GC 부산에 이제 들어가서 프로 생활을 시작했을 때가
고2 때 팀 들어간 것 같아요.
그래서 진짜 거의 아무도 모르는 팀이 결승전까지 가게 되고 결승 또 우승까지 가게 됐잖아요.
솔직히 저 처음에 목표가 8강? 크진 않았거든요. 근데 막상 이제 경기장에 가서 하다 보니까 다 이겨서 올라갔던 것 같아요.
GC 부산 팀에서 이제 런던 스피파이어로 들어오게 됐을 때 그때 좀 어땠나요?
우승한 멤버들 다 같이 이제 팀에 들어간 거니까 그게 일단 너무 좋았고 저는 애초에 한국 말고 가본 적이 없어요, 해외에. 그래서 놀라웠고 재밌을 것 같았어요, 미국 가면. 다 친구들도 보고 싶고 부모님도 보고 싶었는데 그냥 미국 계속 있다 보니까 미국이 더 좋은 것 같아요.
그 다음에 이제 그랜드 파이널은 좀 많이 컸잖아요.
엄청 크구나 스케일을 생각했는데 막상 이제 경기 시작했을 때는 그렇게 막 떨리진 않았어요. 경기 시작 전에 엄청 떨렸거든요.
그 큰 무대에서 또 함성 소리도 엄청 많이 들리잖아요.
진짜 컸어요. 많이 키를 따거나 뭐 그랬을 때 함성이 엄청 크게 들리거든요. 엄청 뿌듯하고 그 느낌이 엄청 좋았던 것 같아요.
The Prophet? Are you kidding me? All on his own! The lone sniper! Your MVP, Prophet!
그랜드 파이널 우승을 하고 그리고 또 제가 들어보니까 트위터에다 되게 재밌는 얘기를 하셨더라고요.
내가 최고의 딜러다?
그거를 올린 이유가 뭔가요? 너무 기분이 좋아서 이거를 표출을 하고 싶어서.
네, 그랬던 것 같아요. 지금 생각하면 부끄럽네요 좀. 아, 왜 그랬지? 아.
근데 최고는 맞죠. 그거는 부정을 못하죠.
아, 근데 그때 당시에 좀 미쳤던 것 같아요, 우선.
뭐 때문에 계속 이렇게 좀 오버워치를 열심히 하는 것 같아요?
게임도 좋고 팀원들 사람들도 좋고 돈도 좋죠. 돈도 있죠.
최고였습니다. 프로필 선수.
네.
네, 정말 좋은 강의 너무나도 감사드리고요.
도움이 되셨길 바랍니다.
감사합니다.
네.
Gotta love the money. In addition to being super talented, Prophet is one of the most versatile players in the league. Seems no matter which hero he's playing, he's always at the top statistically when you look across the league averages, including this season on the all-important Zarya. So Zoe, can you imagine the little kid from those childhood photos is such an assassin right now?
Absolutely, actually. You know, kids generally they're evil and mean, so I can see them going places like that.
He did say
Did you
as
have a
well.
rough childhood?
Kids are mean. What
He
do you
did say
say?
he was a rebel, a little mischievous.
Yeah, and he has that grin, and he still does. So I can totally see that. I love the way he said that. Oh, and my SR just kept on like going higher and higher, as if it just happened like out of nowhere. Yeah, I can very much relate to that, of course.
All right, guys, coming up, it's a battle of 2-0 teams when Cruz and Paris take on Jonak and the NYXL. Who will take the match? Our predictions are next. It's the Watchpoint pre-show presented by State Farm. Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League. Here is a look at the NYXL getting ready on the Blizzard stage. Mono and the boys coming off that huge victory over London. Today, they look to make it 3 in a row in stage 3 against the Eternal. Well, let's check out the predictions here for our lovely Friday evening. Everybody is going with New York to roll past Paris. Brendan's taking a flyer on the new look Toronto Defiant over London, and everyone has Houston to stay hot and the Gladiators over Philly. But Bren, I gotta hear this. Back up your Toronto pick over Zoe's London.
All right, here's our Toronto win.
No.
You ready? Here's
I'm
our
ready.
Toronto win. Kevin Durant ruptures his Achilles heel. Klay Thompson lands funny on his left. Wait, wrong Toronto game. Might be wrong Toronto game. No, I think that now that they've given a bit of time, I think Sherrick and Gods are going to be fitting and meshing better with this roster now.
They
These guys are
lost
talented.
3-1 against Paris. All right, yeah,
Paris are looking better.
Yeah, but
Your
not
point
that good.
today was that Paris are looking better.
Yes,
Your point
but that
today was
doesn't,
London are looking
that doesn't make
bad.
Toronto look amazing. They're not going to win against the London Spitfire. Get out of this arena.
I think
Brett.
they might.
Get out of here. No.
Josh, out of all your predictions, which one are you nervous for? Should be Houston.
nervous.
It should be Houston. I'm saying it now. That's going to do it for the Watchpoint pre-show. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the matches, everybody.